I've got to talk about Halo. And I have never seen the community in such a state before. And I'm going to say something, it's going to make so many people angry, and it's going to make mainly the old heads angry. And I'm just going to go right out and say it, and it's that Halo does not belong to you anymore. I am sorry. You need to get over it. This is coming from somebody, and it's going to make you even more mad. This is coming from somebody who was only cognizant enough to really enjoy these characters and the gameplay loop of Halo when Halo 4 came out. And yes, I've gone back and played the older games. Yes, I've learned to love these characters, and I adore the original games way more than I ever did the 343 era of games. That is a simple fact. You're going to have to get over it if you're going to continue this video. You've probably already left, or you probably already left a stupid comment saying that, oh, this and this, without even watching the rest of the video. But that is a simple fact. But I have never seen a more pathetic and more overblown overreaction to a remake of a game in my entire life. Maybe the recent announcement of Ocarina of Time, but that's a low-hanging fruit. I'm not going to go there. There has been so much just outright disingenuous, nonsensical, quote-unquote criticism that I'm seeing for this remake that it is just genuinely mind-blowing, to the point where people are LARPing the franchise, and I swear to God they're laughing, because I am seeing people complaining at the fact that the doors in, I think it's Assault on the Control Room, are glowing green. They have always glown green. Why are you complaining? The original Combat Evolved always had them green, not even Anniversary. The original Combat Evolved had the green lights on the doors, and everyone is complaining. It's gotten to the point where people are posting clips of the trailer, like the gameplay trailer, and I say gameplay trailer, but it's like the story trailer, showing like multiple clips of Chief like shooting at enemies going, where's the gameplay loop? And it's like, dude, it's a trailer. Where are you gonna find the gameplay loop in the trailer? What video game trailer is showing you the main gameplay loop? What are you on? Like, people are just going on and on about things, going, and the main thing is the sprint, and people are crying and crying and crying about sprint. By the way, just like a thing to talk about here, did you know that, like, fun fact and some food for thought, Bungie originally intended to put sprint in Halo 2, which I completely agree with, because I'm sorry, my 7'2", and I know this is a LARP because he's only 7'2" in the suit, he's 6'10" when he's out of the suit, fun fact. But my 7'2" super fucking soldier should be able to sprint. Deal with that fact. I'm sorry, he should be able to sprint. I do not care how heavy the Mjolnir armor is. I do not care how heavy the assault rifle is. He is a super soldier. He should be able to sprint. He's done crazy as shit. He should be sprinting. Argue with the wall. Dude, I do not care. I don't care. It is a shooter. He should be able to sprint. I don't care. And people, and like, this one guy posted a thing that made so many people angry, and I find it so funny because I used to do what he was saying, because I was like 6 years old when I played like Combat Evolved for like the first ever time in my life. Which, by the way, when Combat Evolved came out, and this is going to make the fucking old heads even more angry, and I swear to God, if the old heads leave this video because they're angry, you're cowards. Just outright, if you stay on this video, you're a cool guy. You're a cool old head. And if you hear my points, then you are cool as hell. And if you actually give me a fair debate in the comments and like counter my points fairly, you are cool as hell, and I respect the hell out of you. But if you just get mad and type some nonsensical bullshit in the comments, you're just sad. I'm sorry, you're just a sad person. But anyway, my point being, right, the guy posted that like it was a rebuttal to the idea that sprint just allows you to like run past enemies, and the guy posted it like with the R word slur. I'm not gonna say it because I just think slurs in the Big 26 are completely fucking stupid, right? But like, it goes, oh, you can just run past enemy encounters, right? And then this guy posts a clip going, okay, but you could just do that in Combat Evolved anyway, like the original, like the very first version of the game, and in the Master Chief Collection, and in the original Xbox 360 Combat Evolved Anniversary version. You can do it in every version of the game. And then everyone called about and said, actually, you've got negative sickle, so that means he died already. And he goes, yeah, but that's besides the point because I was able to do it anyway. And he's like, no, that's not true. That's what, and you only have 1 HP. And then he's like, actually, no, here's a clip of me doing it them being perfectly fine. And it's like, and then I actually quote tweeted it on my own account and said, yeah, actually this is true, because when I was like 6 years old, this is exactly how I used to play the game in almost every single encounter where I just could do this. And this is true, by the way. It's exactly what I used to do. I used to just ape past the enemies because I could not. I was too scared. And then I was forced to fight the flood, and then I just turned off the game because I was too scared. I'm sorry, but that's just what it was until I actually went back and played the game like a real boy. The simple fact is, I do not think this game or this franchise is catered to the old heads anymore. You got to think, Halo 4 released 13 years ago. A guy could have had a kid when Halo 4 released. He's a teenager now. And you think this game franchise is catered to the people that were playing Combat Evolved Anniversary? Or sorry, that were playing Combat Evolved? You think that's the game franchise is catered to you now? Really? Really? Are we in that headspace? We really think that? We really think that this game franchise isn't catered to the people that were playing when Reach came out anymore? I hate to say that. It's a really hard pill to swallow. I don't even think this game franchise is catered to me anymore. I'm 24 years old. I'm turning 25 this year. I do not think this game franchise is catered to me anymore. I am excited for Campaign Evolved. I actually want to play this because I want to see how this game plays. I want to see the flood. I want to see these missions reimagined. Because it is not a remaster, quote unquote, as this game does not serve the same purpose as, say, Combat Evolved Anniversary, which, in my opinion, was kind of an insult to Combat Evolved, which this game, in my opinion, is not, because what it is doing is it's serving multiple purposes. It is going back to what made Halo, quote unquote, amazing, which, in a sense, it is and isn't. It's going back and revitalizing it and modernizing it, in a sense, by adding newer features like aim down sight and holy voice crack. By the way, I'm not editing this video to the sensor that's staying in, because if I can insult people, they can insult me. It's only fair. It's putting in aim down sights. It's adding third person mode. By the way, third person mode is a skull, which I'm going to get into later, but it's putting in aim down sights. It's putting in sprint. It's putting in multiple different things, and it's changing. By the way, this is one of the big things that people just keep crying and crying and crying about, but it's changing structures. Now, I'm going to get into a big thing that the Halo fandom just seem to ignore because they're harder to please than fucking Zack Snyder fans at this point. Right, here's the thing. Even Bungie were shifting the way that Forerunner architecture looked by Halo 2 and leaned into it in Halo 3 and especially in Halo Reach, which was before Halo 1, which means retroactively, Halo 1 made no fucking sense. So, point proven, get the fuck over it, right? Cry about it. The brutalist architecture in Halo 1 made no sense, and the rundown look of all the Forerunner architecture especially made no sense when we know that they're made up with smart matter, and that 343 Guilty Spark was an obsessive OCD-ridden fucking monitor anyway, and that the Sentinels could clean the Forerunner structures and deoxidize them anyway. So it made absolutely no sense that the fucking Forerunner structures looked rundown in the first place, and Halo 2 kind of made no sense as well, but then again it kind of makes sense at the same time because it was a less active monitor and the Sentinels were less active, and yeah, it makes sense that it's a bit more run down. And Halo 3, of course, it was looking more modern, and in Halo Reach, it was looking especially more modern. And then in Halo 4, because the story changed, the Forerunners were no longer humans. By the way, if you didn't know, by Halo 3, there was a terminal that was actually fully referencing the fact that the Forerunners were aliens, due to the fact that the guy who took over the story in Halo 4 snuck that in and mentioned the Librarian and the Didact. And then when he took over in Halo 4, they were the main fucking Forerunners that you see. And obviously everything went full sci-fi alien architecture, and that's where the story went from there. So the reason the architecture had changed, despite the fact that Bungie had started changing it them fucking selves, is because the architecture had actually changed beforehand, and in Halo 4, it had fully changed anyway. So it's for, hear me and say it with me, consistency. That's the reason the Forerunner structures no longer look brutalist as they did in Halo Combat Evolved. And I know people are going to say to me, well, Combat Evolved Anniversary has more respect for the Forerunner structures, and that was a 343 project and was not a Bungie project. Ha! Well, rebuttal. Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary is a remaster and not a remake, and therefore they didn't have the leeway to do these changes. Whereas, yes, you could counter my point and say that Halo 2 Anniversary did make the changes to the Forerunner structures, but you could also make a separate rebuttal and say that Halo Combat Evolved is a very legendary game. It's kind of the like grandfather of like all these shooters games. Yeah, Quake is as well, you could say, but like Halo is really up there. But Halo Combat Evolved was more respected in terms of the Forerunner architecture. Do with that information what you will, but that's my rebuttal to that point. The way the story was going with Halo is kind of just a mystery to me. I think Bungie themselves were abandoning the Forerunners were humans plot themselves, and they were going to go with the Librarian and Didact thing anyway. But I think that had Bungie continued, that Halo 4 would have been a very, very different game overall. I don't think any of like the gameplay would have played. I think it would have played very similar to Halo 3, but I think the story would have been roughly the same. I don't think much would have changed. Like, I really don't. But by the way, I think Halo 4 is kind of an underrated gem. Fight me on that one. I replayed it very recently. By the way, having replayed all of the original Bungie Halo games and having respected them way more than the 343 ones and having enjoyed them way more, I actually think that Halo 4 is among one of the better Halo games. So do with that information what you will. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. I really do think that a lot of Halo fans just need to get over it at this point, man. They're kind of like hanging on to the franchise and setting themselves up for disappointment. And I understand. I really do get it. They want the franchise to go back to what it was before, and it just simply is not going to do that. It is not the franchise it once was. It is not yours anymore, man. It's like asking Mario to go back to like the original Mario games. It's not gonna happen, is it? It's not. It's just not gonna happen. Things have changed. Advancements have been made, whether they be for better or whether they be for worse. Or it's like you can say, oh, Sonic's, with Sonic, and like I guess you could hit me with a rebuttal and say that yeah, they did that with Sonic Mania, and it's like yeah, okay, I guess fuck me then. I guess they did. But that's kind of what Combat Evolved is doing, and I understand that, okay, that the whole tagline for Sonic Mania of them going back to find out what made them amazing was literally just like marketing bullshit, right? I know that's the case, and they could have easily done that with Combat Evolved, but they never actually claimed that. They never made that claim. But in a sense, that's kind of what they're doing here. They are going back to what made Halo really good, and they're allowing that PlayStation players get to experience that for the first time ever as well, which again, we had the Xbox Game Showcase where they started announcing exclusives again for Xbox and Steam only, or Xbox and PC only. So I'm a bit confused, and I feel like they really did want to make Halo exclusive to Xbox and Steam, but they just didn't in the end. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. Listen, there's things like that people are saying, like there's one thing I saw really recently where it's like, oh my God, the plasma pistol doesn't open from the front. When it's overheating, it opens from the back. And it's like, oh my God, brother, shut the fuck up. It's nobody noticed that. Nobody cared until you fucking said it. I just whacked my finger on my but anyway, nobody cared until you said it. Nobody gave a fuck. And now they care because you're a piece of shit. I'm sorry. It's like, and I know people are going to be in the comments going, just consume the slot, bro. That's not what this is. I actually didn't want a remake. I wanted an actual new Halo game with the same passion that they seem to be giving this fucking remake, because they talk about this remake like it's God's gift to Earth. Like they keep talking about it, and it does look really good. And I want a new Halo game with this fidelity. I really do. I really want one. And they keep talking about they're making these things, but I know full well we're about to get a Halo 2 and Halo 3 remake. I know full well they're coming, which, by the way, I think Halo 3 really deserves a remake in this quality. I really want to see it because I think Halo 3's story is really fucking cool. And I think, like, that last mission in Halo 3, like, the whole place is falling apart and you're on that Warthog doing that, like, final Warthog run, which is, like, really, really cool in comparison to, like, and like, the parallels to, like, Halo 1's final mission, which I always forget the name of. I really always forget the name of it. I can't remember why. But, like, the Warthog run in the final mission of Halo Combat Evolved, like the parallels between them two on the Ark, like is so cool. And like I say the Ark, I mean the one in Halo 3. Obviously, I'm not saying you're on the Ark in Halo 1. That would be, I'm not a LARPer. I promise I'm not a LARPer. And like, there's another thing. Like, I'm going to get to the skulls in a second because I need to end this video. This is getting too long. But I need to talk about another thing. Okay? Before I get to the skulls. People was like saying, and it's exposing so many LARPers in the Halo community because it's fucking hilarious. People were going, "Oh my god, this kick animation that Master Chief was doing looks so much like fucking Fortnite," and it's an animation that has existed since Halo Reach. It's the hijacking animation. Why are we doing this? We're not hating at this point to make the game better. We're hating for the sake of just making noise because we're fucking crybabies. We sound, I'm sorry, and I say we because I'm not actually doing the complaining. I don't think I've made a single complaint about this. Like, I think I might have made one complaint, and it was the ammo capacity of the AR. And they've since fixed that. They've rectified that, by the way. Like, just saying. But anyway, just saying. Like, we sound like Zack Snyder fans. We genuinely sound like Snyderverse fans. We sound like DCEU fans who cannot let go of the past. That is what we sound like. Are we no better than Zack Snyder fans? Can we really not move on? Can we not grow the fuck up? I have been swearing so much in this video because people don't realize how fucking passionate I am for Halo. Because I love this franchise. I love the Master Chief. I say the Master Chief because I don't know why I love saying the Master Chief because it just sounds cool as fuck. It's like saying the Doom Slayer. It's a fucking cool way to say it, okay? John 117, however the fuck you want me to say it. I do not. John Spartan will make it. Either way, I can't do the fucking voice. I wish I could. It's the coolest fucking voice in gaming. Argue with the fucking wall. But either way, it's just, it's so many bad faith arguments that it's driving me fucking insane. And I don't even want to edit this video because it's just a 17.5 minute crash out. This is what this video is. It's me crashing out for 17.5 minutes. And my friends are going to see this video, the ones that I work with, and they're going to be like, what the fuck was that? And I'm just going to laugh. I'm going to say, yeah, it was me crashing out over dumbass. I say dumbasses. Look, okay, I understand. I don't want to call you dumbasses because that's not fair. You're probably just as passionate as I am about Halo. You're probably even more passionate about Halo than I am, but I think you're misplaced. I really do. I think you don't understand that the franchise just isn't going the way you want it to go, and it never will do. You need to get over it, man. It is never going to go the way you want it to go anymore. That is just not what Halo is. It does not belong to you anymore. Unless one of you eventually fucking take over the Xbox or something and Halo Studios, in which case, then fuck it, yeah, I guess it does. You win. Haha, I lose. I guess. But anyway, I'm going to talk about the scores because I don't want this to get to like over 20 minutes. So, all right, okay. So people are complaining about the skulls, and people are complaining about, oh, this enemy appears here, and the fucking brutes are in this because the prequel missions. Yeah, brutes are in the fucking Halo universe before Halo 1. Surprise fucking LARPer. By the way, they're there. Boom, shebang. Fucking, you're a LARPer if you don't know that. Lore, read it. Fucking Spike is in it too. Bang. Right? And one of the skull is a remix skull. The remix skull allows enemies from different areas to appear in different levels. It's really fucking cool. It's awesome. It means the Flood can appear in earlier levels and the fucking brutes can appear in later levels from the prequel missions and blah, 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 and all that shit. I'm trying to make this really fucking fast. And one of the skulls allows for fucking the 60 round AR to be in the fucking game early, but I say early, but in the game in general. And then there's the general option of disabling sprint and disabling fucking different things and disabling all fucking different options to make the game play like the original Combat Evolved and just feel like a fucking, basically, you could make the game feel like Combat Evolved Anniversary 2. Point made. Okay, that's it. I'm ending the video. Maybe take a breath. Thank you for watching. I've been Jake Place. Goodbye. Jesus Christ. Fucking play Halo.